Welcome in everyone to the Challenge After Show. As always, we're talking about the challenge, and tonight we're going to talk about the best rivalries of all time to ever appear on MTV's The Challenge. But first, we wanted to mention that the Challenge Aftermath just went on live today on YouTube, and you can watch it, and we're going to talk about it next week. And they're going to talk about all new cast members, et cetera, et cetera. So we're excited to talk about that. Jenna already kind of looked on 5 minutes in. She got all excited because she saw Josh, who apparently is her favorite now. What's that about?
It's not that he's my favorite. It's that it was a complete surprise because you can see who's being interviewed. You see, obviously, I don't want to ruin it. It's on YouTube. It streamed 4 hours ago, but you see that it's Devin. Like, you see the main players and a few other people. Again, I won't allude to too much, but then I scooted through a little bit, only like 5 or 6 minutes in. So when I saw Josh doing what he's doing, it was quite a shock.
Well, they are all drinking on social media together, all over social media this week, drinking. So I was wondering why they were all together. Now it makes sense that they're on the Aftermath that came out today. And Pam, you have some news for us too.
Guys.
What happened?
I don't know if we need like a 6-gun salute or
hyping this, Pam or Jenna.
Why do I feel like this is unrelated and you're like pregnant or something?
Oh.
Nope. Cara Lives has announced her retirement from the challenge today.
See, and that's why this is, and her and Paulie the other week said that he had plans of coming back and all this stuff. So I mean, he might come back without her, but still.
I don't know, guys. It's early days. My watch, my like Santa watch, my like car watch is over.
If you should have taken the night off tonight to mourn over this. I'm surprised you were even able to make it in for this podcast.
I had to pay my respects. I had to be here for her in case she wants to come back. We support you, Cara. Allegedly she made a post with Cam and said she's the new face of the challenge.
I saw that, but I didn't realize that's what it was. I looked at it briefly today. I saw that. I just thought she was just giving Cam props.
She was retiring. So it's been said before. Many others have come out of retirement. Maybe Cara too will come out of retirement.
All right. Well,
time will tell.
That's why Pam is in all black. She's in mourning.
Is that why? Jenna, you're not buying it at all.
It's not that I'm not buying it. You know what? She very well may be retired and moving on to other things. However, as we always say, Cara lives. Right. So whether she's not on our exact TV screen on this exact moment, her legendary challenge career lives on. She transcends. So you know what? Even if she's not active on the current season, Cara lives. She lives.
Exactly.
So
apparently,
she's not challenged in vain.
Right. I am shocked. I really thought that she'd come back. I thought they would do a season. And then does that include All Stars? Then she's not going to come back for All Stars.
I don't know.
I would love a one-on-one with her to figure out, her thoughts on why
the last one-on-one we tried to do was when they had the three of them together. It was her, Paulie, and Natalie, and she was too busy eating ice cream to be interviewed by us over at AfterBuzz. So no thanks, Cara. No thanks.
Thanks.
But then again,
I would love to do it. I don't know where she would love to do it though, because we just, the way we talk about everyone on the show.
No, because we're honest, and sometimes honesty hurts, and she would not want to be on, basically because of me. Pam is very nice to Cara. So Cara, if you're watching, do it for Pam, because she really does care about you. And she's never, have you met her in real life?
No.
And she's still, and look how much she still cares, Jenna. That's what Pam is, such a sweet person about it.
She's an iconic member of the challenge community and history.
Well, let's see if she makes our rivalry list. Maybe Cara will make a rivalry in our top 5. That's what we're talking about tonight. Our rivals, our best rivals, our favorite rivals, whatever you want to call it, right?
You always put too much pressure on me. Or maybe it's just I have like an anxious brain when it comes to the best, right? Because we talked about this when it came to, what was the other one? Villains. Whenever you throw out the term best or craziest, I get all concerned that my list isn't going to be the top.
Because I think it's good when they're all different. And the best is your best. So I have no it's not we're not arguing anything, right? It's your best. I can't say anything different. I can just tell you my best. You tell me your best, and we all have a good time.
It's subjective, Jenna.
Yeah.
Your personal favorite rivalry.
That's it.
How about that?
Because I don't think that. Well, I don't know that. I don't think your favorite will be my favorite because you know who I'm obsessed with. But we'll get into it. All right, we're gonna do 5 through 2, then honorable mentions, and then our best.
Okay.
And should we do snake? I know how much Jenna likes a good snake draft, a classic snake
like
draft.
a good snake rank. Good snake
rank. It really is.
I'm down with it if you tell me when it's my turn, because I don't know.
We're gonna put you right. We'll put Pam right in the middle. So
in the middle again. We keep her nice right in the middle seat.
I still don't know. Yeah, how the snake works.
Yeah, so we're gonna start with Jenna then. Jenna, your number 5 spot of Rivals.
Okay, my number 5 spot is Nani and Teresa. Because I've always enjoyed watching them bicker, and it's a rivalry that stands so many seasons, and they just don't like each other. And you know what? Sometimes that is what it is. And I'm all about forgiveness, and I'm all about like trying to compromise and meet each other halfway, see eye to eye, grow and learn. But they just know they're 2 personalities that are never gonna mesh. And that's just what it is. So I kind of am like, good. Like they are true rivals. Right. And whether it's verbal, whether it's in competition, they've gone head to head before. They always will dislike each other. And it's kind of like, yeah, sometimes when you hate someone, you hate someone. End of story.
Yeah. And you know, I think that's I don't even have them on my list at all. But you've convinced me like that they probably should be at least in an honorable mention. Like, so there you go. And that's why
they go in on each other too. Like they hold nothing back.
Well, even were they on this past season together, season 36? I remember Teresa, and then Nani made it to the end. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they always bring the same energy with the way that they hate each other. It's literally like Teresa comes in, you know, she's saying she's mature now, she has kids, but her and Nani still have find a way to just butt heads every time.
Yep. Pam, your number 5 spot.
My number 5 spot is going to go out to someone who, so in my research on this, I dove deeper and deeper and deeper. And the reason this person is making my number 5 spot is because I remembered when she had flair, personality, feistiness, energy, drive. And this is our girl, Jenna Campo, used to be. Zach has sucked the life out of her in the bloodlines with her cousin.
Yeah,
she was a snippy bitch. Like everyone's like, Jenna, the nicest challenger, and it's like, no, she was like a fighter. She was like a person that like brought energy to the show. Not like now where it's like, is Zach gonna call? She was like your boyfriend. She was criticizing her cousin's relationship. I don't know. Jenna Campo's dad was in jail. Don't get me wrong, but she said to her cousin, you think you're so cool because you work at a bakery because your dad owns a bakery. If my dad wasn't in jail, he owned a bakery, I'd work there too. She was fighting. She was a Barbie beast. Even her physical presence was like something to contend with, where now I feel like she's a wet noodle, just everything about her. And I was watching it and I was like, that's Jenna? Like she was just aggressive and feisty and fun to watch, and had comebacks and saucy things to say.
Can you ladies refresh my memory? They brought in like family members for like everyone.
I love that season.
Was that to just get basically new fresh meat on the show? And what was the name of that season?
Bloodlines,
right? Okay, obviously.
I love that season.
Donnie had Nicole. A few people.
Well, I remember Bananas had his cousin, like what, Vinny or something.
Oh, like Vinny, right?
Yeah.
And Cara just cousin.
Okay,
well, they made it to like the finals. Cara and her cousin, they win. Did they
cousin? Win? And there's a few people that remained, like Shane or Tony Two Kids brought Shane.
Yeah.
A few people brought people that like, you know, remained, but Jenna had this cousin.
Well, Shane appeared on Real World with him too. Shane appeared on Real World with Tony.
Right. Yeah. Well, the Campo girls have beautiful hair. I will give them that.
Girls?
This other one had just fantastic hair.
So is that the rivalry?
Nice girl.
So it's Jenna.
They were bitching at each other.
The 2 cousins.
Jenna versus Brie. Yeah,
Pam, I love that rivalry. I love that because that fight was so memorable to me as well, because it was something that was so you couldn't understand why they would fight over something like that unless they were family, right? It's something like only
Right.
sisters or cousins would fight about. You think you're so cool because you work at a bakery?
Right.
I work there too. No one, you would never fight with like someone else in the house about shit like that. It has to be
Never.
blood to
Totally.
fight about something so stupid.
And
Right.
if anyone at home watching right now doesn't remember that season, you can watch them basically all on Paramount Plus right now.
Also, I
Sponsors?
grabbed clips for, we can do a special on our Patreon. Thank you to our patrons. I have clips of all my favorite rivalries that like have a clip.
Oh, that's fun.
So I pulled them.
Oh,
because I was
and
like,
in the comment section below, tell us your favorite rivalries of the challenge, because we want to hear from you on
Yeah.
YouTube and on the Patreon.
we
So,
really do.
all right, my number 5 is a rivalry that was on Rivals 3, which would make sense because they're rivals for a reason. Well, I won't make you guess, but it is Sarah and Bananas.
Yeah.
And what I love about this rivalry is it really didn't exist as much throughout Rivals 3 because they were trying to work together. But then, like, the biggest thing ever happens at the end, obviously, when he steals her money. And that just makes the rivalry and she never returned to the challenge after season 28, Rivals 3. She never came back.
Right.
And I always thought that she would try to come back and trying to get this resurgence and like, I want my money back. But she either never got asked, which I find to be hard to believe because of what happened, but she's never returned.
Never to be returned again.
And that's my number 5 spot. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
That would be another good one-on-one with Sarah. Because you hear from Bananas all the time. He talks about this moment all the time, right? His claim to fame, and he defends himself interview after interview, which is fine. You made your decision. Back it up.
I want to say she went on a podcast with a female host. I can't think of who it is.
She has a podcast called Brain Candy, I believe, with Susie Meister.
Yes, I was going to say the name Susie. I was going to say Susie, but I didn't want to come off like I'm just making up a name. But that is where I talk about it.
I don't believe it has anything to do with the challenge or anything. I haven't listened to it, so I can't really advocate one way or another. Yeah. But I don't believe it has to do with the challenge at all. I think they just happen to be former challengers.
I feel like they talked about it on the show, though. It came up or something, yeah.
I like it's about psychology. I don't know. Also, please let us know in the comments. And I like both of those women, so maybe it's worth checking out.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I would love to know more about Sarah's decision making and not coming back. I'm sure it would wear and tear on your mental health and your body after a while being on reality TV. And
I mean, especially losing. I mean, thinking every day
forever.
I lost $500,000 because of some dillweed that didn't want to split after I did half the work. I know it's a show and everything, but dude, you're telling me like he can't just like behind the scenes throw her $100K? Like, what a dick move. I'm sorry. Even when Ashley did it to Hunter, I know that's a whole different set of things because of how he treated her, but oh my God, losing just every day living your life knowing that you basically should have had $500,000. No? Or is it just me?
I feel like
totally dick move unjustifiable. I cannot, good TV, but oh my God. Yeah, no, there's no way if I went through that with someone.
A life-changing amount of money. Not like what they used to get back in the day, but like an insane life-changing amount of money.
Right, like buy a home money. I mean, let's buy a house money.
By the way, ladies, I just rewatched The Duel because I wanted to watch the whole CT and DM thing like for like this is like the third time I've rewatched it, but I just rewatched it. And oh my God, is that season awesome? Oh, and
so good.
Like Brad won a bike, like doing a regular challenge on a day. It's so good. Like this is like
so good. They were always winning. Always winning prizes, always getting like a check to somewhere. Motocross bikes were being handed out left and right. They did like a roller derby competition.
Yes, that's when Brad won. That's the thing he won. And it's just like you could see why it was so much more fun because every week you're like, I might not win everything, but hey, I got a freaking bike out of it.
Right.
That's 20 G's right there, and I got it for free. Like, it's just so cool.
I love that shit. That's like vintage challenge when TJ would roll up in flare pants and flip flops, and they would all just be wearing like whatever the fuck they wanted, and they had to blur out Coca-Cola on their shirts.
I know,
because it wasn't all like produced. It wasn't all Hollywood glitz and glam and stuff. It was just like, here's guys.
You got a clue from TJ. Yeah.
Okay. It's just, Hey,
they didn't even have to show up. They just had their Motorola sidekick.
My T-Mobile phone is sponsoring this episode, and they gave me a clue. But we'll talk about the duel later because I have a lot more things to say about the duel with some more of these rivalries. Now it's a snake draft, Pam. So it goes back to me for number 4 now, and then it's going to go to you for your number 4.
Okay.
My number 4 is going to be Wes and Kenny, which I talked about before with their rivalry. Basically, Wes and Kenny, they didn't really get along that well. And then Kenny went and made out with Johanna after Wes and her broke up. So it made the rivalry even more. And then they got paired together for one of the rivals. And that's all I got to say about that. It was they always were going after each other. And it was a lot of fun as far as what I remember about it.
Okay. All right. My number 4 is just 2 horrible people that became horrible together. Camilla and Amanda. It was like, bitch, you ain't got shit. Oh, bitch, you ain't got shit. Remember Camilla like did her dance and Amanda just like, blah, blah, blah. Just 2 people popping off. Sheer and utter madness. Just 2 crazy people screaming at each other. Here for it.
Again, Pam, great pick. They couldn't have said it any better. They were both just 2 crazy, fiery people. And it was like almost mirror images, right? Like some of them just looking at a mirror at themselves. They were doing the same thing.
Right. They're just both relentless.
And maybe they could get along, but almost too similar that they couldn't make it work.
Exactly.
Camilla will make my honorable mentions with someone else later as a tease. There's your tease.
Okay.
So I wonder if we have the same one.
I don't. Mine's kind of a jokey one, but it'll be fun.
But mine's kind of a jokey one.
All right. Well, all right. So go to your. So do your number 4. We're teasing so much right now. How can people not want to watch this? Yes.
God, it's a strip club. We're just teasing so much. That was a just really horrendous, terrible dad joke.
Oh yeah, Jenna with the take it off jokes.
So 4th spot is Cara Maria. She lives. And Johnny Bananas. And Bananas could be Bananas versus the world, right? Like he could have a rival left and right. But I also think he has his group of loyal followers, a little bit like Regina George. Like if you're in his posse, you're in his posse. But if you're not, then you're probably an enemy or a rival. But for some reason, he was just the biggest dick to Cara for so many seasons. Like
so many.
Whether it was just a little bit playful, still a dick. Whether it was sarcastic, still a dick. Whether it was truly gunning after her to try to get her out, he always had something against her, throwing the soda bottle at her, pouring it on her head. Like he was always involved in torturing her in some way. And so that's the rivalry.
Yep. Well, if you remember when Cara first came on the show, she was an easy target. She was new. She wasn't as definitely not confident like she has become now or turned into the villain, whatever you want to call what she is now. But she was definitely like the person that would get teased a lot. And Bananas was right at the top of that list of teasing her. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a scene and it like literally breaks my heart. And I think is the moment once I fell in love with Cara and became her ride or die, where I think it's banana torture. Because there were several seasons where everyone sort of tortured her.
Yeah.
Where
let it go.
They're on the bus on the way home, which is something I wound up realizing I missed so much, the drunken bus rides home, because like so many epic battles happened on the drunken bus ride home because people just be drunk and on the bus home.
We're really missing that in recent seasons too.
Well, because of COVID, they couldn't go anywhere. I'm thinking maybe this season they were allowed to go out again. So maybe we'll get some bus rides.
I hope they bring back the bus ride. But yeah, I mean, last season they had the igloo. I mean, come on.
It was next door. No bus rides needed. Yeah.
We missed the bus rides, but it was some season, I don't remember which it was, where everyone, especially Bananas, is just being horrible to Cara and the whole nobody likes you, everybody hates you, nobody likes you. And she was like, my family likes me and my horses like me.
I know.
Like,
she was
She
That's
was she's like,
probably
my
when I
parents like me, my horses like me, and then were making fun of my horses like
I remember. Yeah, I mean, that's probably when I still liked Cara. Yeah,
yes. She
yeah.
was a true, like that was
I
her.
mean, that's awful that it came to that she was like that upset where she's like, my horses like me. My God,
Yeah.
she's
And
got.
I really do feel like Bananas is a bully to her. Like, that's what I'm saying. If you're not in Bananas' little group of socialites, or if he can use you, if you're an ally, or if he's just fucking with you in order for him to step on you to get what he wants, he can be really mean and he can
Oh
be hard to
God,
deal with
yes.
because he doesn't let up.
That's
And
why
it's
we
just
hate
bullying
him.
at that point. You're just doing it to be a bully.
Yeah, like we only like him now because he's chilled out in his old age. But back in the olden days, Banana.
In his geriatrics.
No, but that was a time when people were allowed to be bullies for TV. Bullying was fully tolerated. Like we saw many a bully on the show.
I think and I also think the producers would help him bully in a way.
Oh, and physical fighting.
I think they were giving
go
him
on a
things
bit.
to say and do and all kinds of stuff, and then he would improvise from there.
So oh, for sure. And they would let people fight a little bit too back in the day until they like got involved if it looked like there were different levels of acceptability back in the day.
Yeah.
It goes where I don't even know where we are now. So you just did your
I did my 4, so it goes back to Pam.
No, it goes back to you for your 3. We're snake
okay. Yeah. So sadly, my 3 is one that was already said. So we don't have to expand on it too much, but I also did the Wes and Kenny rivalry.
Oh, okay.
Because then they competed in Rivals together, and Kenny had to put Wes on his back. Literally. I don't mean like, oh wow, does his back hurt? He was carrying the team. I mean, Wes literally sat down and had what was it? Charlie horse or cramps or whatever the fuck it was.
Something wrong with his leg where he could not.
He literally fireman carried him up a mountain. Iconic rivalry. And also nothing's worse than stealing someone's girl, right? Or hooking up with someone's ex, right?
Sure. Especially, I think Wes probably still had feelings for her at that point. It wasn't a long time after they broke up.
And he did it with that intent, if I remember remembering correctly.
It was a dual thing that he was doing it for pleasure and for pleasure in a different type of way to get at Wes. Yeah.
And that's just dirty, right? Like to get with someone mostly to piss somebody else off.
Oh, totally.
It's weird. It's
but thus a rivalry begins.
Yes, it was born and it lasted for a while. Which brings me to my number 3. You're going to hear a lot of this guy tonight. I got Bananas again, but I got him with Devin this time. And we were at AfterBuzz at the time when Final Reckoning was going on. And there was a long talk all night about the episode when Bananas was saying stuff about Devin's dad who had passed away recently at that time.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Was it fun? And then either a season in Vendettas happened. I don't remember if that was it had to be the season before or after. I don't remember. But then that was the Light Bright game, which to me, I just loved that Devin wanted to step at him and get him in there with him. And then he got lucky and won the thing. But I love that Devin won that. And that, to me, when you beat someone in an elimination and you both don't like each other, the rivalry can grow from that. So that's all I got to say about that one. And you can expand if you'd like, ladies. Yes.
Just a wonderful rivalry. And that moment was epic, of course, when Devin took him down.
Yeah. It's funny too, because I don't think Bananas would even describe it as a rivalry. I think he would say, like, no, Devin wants to be my rival.
And you're
but
right.
Everyone else sees it as a fun.
It's Devin hitching his wagon to, some horse that knows how to move and make headlines. And I think Devin makes those decisions. Devin's really good at reading the room and knowing what he has to do to get more screen time and stuff. I do appreciate that about him for sure.
Yep.
So it goes to you, Pam, now for your number 3.
Okay. Now, I think one of the conclusions we can draw from tonight's show is that if you want to be a face of the challenge, you got to be a rival, because my number 3 is, who is it? Oh, Jordan versus Bananas. Because that also ended in an epic battle. So another person, I think Jordan was just sick of Bananas being the bee's knees. So he flipped the X's. We remember Jordan pulled all the X's and didn't win, but it was still an epic move because it could have been great.
And it's funny you brought that up, because that I was flipping between them. Like, so Jordan and Bananas are now on my honorable mention. I didn't know which one to put in because the rivalry felt like the longevity was the exact same amount, just at different times throughout the history of the challenge.
Yeah.
So I put them on my honorable mention. But if Jordan had won that against Bananas, maybe that's what
it would have been more satisfying because I'm Team Jordan. So obviously I would have liked that. But at the time I was like, you tell him, Jordan, like, because Bananas, he was the reigning King Supreme, bully, jerk, arrogant. And if he had gotten taken down, unfortunately, it didn't work. So it was kind of a bust, but still that Jordan was willing to. I think that also cemented Jordan as someone to be reckoned with, just that he was willing to put himself, because I think that might have been his first or second challenge after his Real World season. So that put him on the map as someone you don't necessarily want to mess with, that he's not afraid to go against the big boys and not afraid to put his money where his mouth is.
Mm-hmm. It's hard because we're running out of original ones.
Okay.
It's funny because we were sitting here and as we were going through, you guys kept saying ones that I also had. So I kept trying to like dig for other ones. I'm like, come on, Jenna, think of another one. But I guess that would kind of be inauthentic, right? I want to make sure that it's still my list. So in second place, I have Bananas and Sarah as well, just because of the iconic stealing of the money scene. And if I was Sarah, that would be my rival forever. So that's just a very clear one, but that's my number 2.
Nice.
Is it me or Dan?
Then it goes to me for my it goes back to you for your number
2, right? And then we have number 1s, yeah.
Okay, because Jenna, my number 2 is Bananas and Sarah, and to add some originality. Well, that is a huge. Well, Dan was talking about his. I was thinking, we know Bananas stole the money from Sarah. We all know that. They were on Rivals because Sarah apparently stabbed him in the back. Does anyone remember? Okay. I don't like what Sarah did to him.
I barely remember. It was something from the season before where she somehow she didn't vote, like a vote went the wrong way on him, or it was something.
I remember.
We should now.
Like
I don't
Anissa, Jalisa, like you said, you'd vote Nehemiah. You didn't.
I feel like I'm speaking out of school, but I
remember because we had him on AfterBuzz and we talked about it, and because this is what he says in every single interview.
Okay,
this is how he defends it.
Good.
It's because Sarah put him into the elimination. Sarah didn't take him straight to the final with her because the way that they were in the season before was X's, and they were all in like the last 4 teams. So only 3 teams go to the final. And Sarah, instead of saving Bananas and not picking him to go into elimination against the losing team of that last challenge, she picked Bananas to go into elimination. And he took it as, you just took away my shot at competing in a final. So like, I get what he's saying, but you could still win though, Bananas. You could still come back from the elimination.
Did he lose that elimination?
I think so.
No, I think
so.
Won.
I think so. I feel like he would have to be that mad about it because if he still made it into the finals, like, dude, get over it. He did.
But one where he was with Nani.
Did she win that season? She made it to the finals. Did she end up winning?
She was with Jordan. Bananas was with Nani. Naya was with Leroy. I still remember the elimination because Naya and Leroy lost. And then Sarah and Jordan won, and Sarah threw in Bananas and Nani into elimination.
God, these are such great seasons. I got to go back and watch all these on Paramount Plus, not our sponsor, but they should be. Like, they're so, But anyways.
That's why he was pissed, but it just was like a little roundabout of a way. It's valid. He could be pissed, but isn't enough to, that it's an unmendable wound that you had to steal money?
Right.
I don't think he lost that elimination because I remember the epic he stole the money was happening and he was like, and you stabbed me in the back of me being like, it didn't wind up mattering. Like, stop it. It didn't matter. You didn't lose anything have to work that hard to mend that relationship after she stabbed you in the back. And I might be remembering it wrong, but I remember it being almost again like an Anissa Jalise, like she might have said, oh, I will do that. Like, it wasn't like me and you to the finals. I'll never
I don't know. Why do I feel like she was up on, like, it was like they were looking down at the gauntlet or whatever you want to call it. What was one of them called? The proving ground. They're looking down, and I feel like she said his name there or something, and that.
Oh, they did. I'm sorry, I'm looking it up. I got the stats. The other couple was Jay and Jenna. Remember?
And they
And then Jay and Jenna quit with the eating of the food.
Yep, that's right.
So Bananas and Nani, they did lose. And
Which
so
we've mentioned Jay and Jenna eating and not being able. That's why they lost the final. Was Jay is Jenna's ex-boyfriend that appeared on Real World with her, but then came back and he sucked. He's like 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing. But yeah.
And Sarah and Jordan won that season. So yeah.
So
Sarah didn't make the final.
Wait, but I thought Jenna and they quit in the final.
Tell me this is the final where Jordan's parachute didn't open. Did he still win?
No,
after
that was with Tori.
Oh, okay.
This is the final where Sarah has to go on the side of the road to shit. It's like my favorite scene ever.
I love the challenge.
She's riding her bike. She's like, I need to go to the bathroom. And Jordan's like, are you fucking kidding? She's like, I gotta go.
Well, if you recall, I believe Jordan and her were dating. Jordan and Sarah were dating on that season a little bit, right?
No,
they broke it up.
They hooked up previously. That's why they were on X's.
Oh God. Yeah.
I know. I feel like we just went down a rabbit hole of proving that we forget.
There's 37 seasons and you watch them once, and now thanks to streaming we can rewatch them. But at the time, you watch them once, you're done.
Yeah.
So.
The challenge loyalists though are going to be like, these people have no idea what they're talking about.
Please.
This will be my last listen.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess that brings me to my number 2. And my number 2 is a little bit fun here because it does involve the duel again. And it is Beth versus everyone on the friggin' duel.
Nice.
Every girl on that season hated her. And I'm sitting there like, is she that bad? Because to me, Beth was like the OG of like understanding how this show worked. And she created a character and it was awesome. And why did I think that it was like she was beating bitches up on this season? She was knocking girls around. And she, to me, when she lost in that final, which was her against the Russian girl. Oh my God, whatever. Svetlana, thank you. Well,
I was just gonna say Svetlana, but I don't even have any idea who we're talking about.
They had to do the pushing thing that pushed the pole.
Anastasia?
Yeah. And then when Beth went to rip out the thing, she ripped the flag off of the carabiner instead of taking the carabiner off, and she got DQ'd because of it. And CT later in the season, CT also got disqualified against Brad for the exact same thing. To me, it was like, dude, why are they putting on a carabiner? It should just been rip the flag off the thing, because
it's like faulty mechanics too. Maybe the people who made the game,
the people that made they made a faulty game, because CT should have clearly won and Beth should have clearly won. They were the winners of that. I'm sorry. I guess I understand they broke the rules, but it was a BS technicality as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So that's like strength, probably. They pulled it off.
You're trying to hold someone from winning and lightly undo a carabiner while you're holding someone else's weight. It's a pain in the ass.
It sure is, which makes it more challenging. So what happened? Did they wind up to the technicality?
Svetlana got to go on. She was like a dying heap on the side of the thing, and she got to win, which is BS. And then Brad, who was also a dying heap, within 2 seconds, he got to go on and then got his ass kicked by Wes in the finals.
So ultimately, they were victorious.
Where CT versus Wes in the finals would have been so much more entertaining, but that's just me. And I love Brad, by the way. And Brad had a great season too, but he shouldn't have been in the finals. Anyways, let's do our honorable mentions. Unless, wait, no, you did your 2 because you said you're 2 out of order.
I think we still have number 1s, me and Jenna, right?
No. I haven't done my number. We're doing honorable mentions first.
Oh, okay. Honorable mentions on number 1. Got it.
Because you said Sarah and Bananas was your number 2, right?
2, yes.
Yes. So we already, because we had to repeat.
Got it.
Why do I feel like our number 1's all the same? But whatever, we'll get into it in a second.
I don't think they are.
All right. Honorable mentions goes to one of you first. Wait, it went.
You go.
All right. Hunter Ashley, Zach Amanda, Laurel Cara Maria, Jordan Bananas, and my joke one is Camilla versus alcohol. I got that off someone online. It's so true. Every big blow up she has is her rival is alcohol, for sure.
It's true.
Someone wrote it on a Reddit or somewhere on Twitter tweet. It was hilarious. It made me laugh for like an hour.
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah, Camilla versus alcohol is definitely a rival.
It is funny though.
So that's all I
right.
got for rivals or for honorable mentions. Yeah,
Nice.
Whose turn is
go
it,
ahead.
Snakey's?
doesn't matter.
Let's keep it. That's true to the snake. I'm trying to learn, and we can't just.
It would technically go to you because it
You
already.
are.
Yeah,
You're
that's
next,
go to you.
Pam.
All right, sweet. My honorable mention. Oh God, because it was so embarrassing on both their parts. Honorable mention rivalry is Pauly and Josh. When they really have it out at the reunion and Pauly's dancing and Josh is crying and screaming. They were both the cringiest versions of themselves. It was awful. Like Pauly, Johnny, what's his name? Josh. Josh is just yelling like, ugh. I don't know what he's yelling. Some nonsense.
Oh, God.
And you
Sucks
two,
that they were filmed, right? If that was me, I'd be like, damn, the cameras really got me at my worst moment.
you two
like,
loved.
Us,
That's awful.
You two loved Pauly's dancing, and I hated it, but you two were loving it.
It was good moves. Like he's a good dancer. It was like technically good. Like if it was on
Jenna,
Dancing
you didn't
with
like
the
it?
Stars.
it's not that we liked it. We loved laughing at it.
Right.
Yeah,
I love that it exists. I actually I want to pull it up right now.
I do too.
I can do the damn dance because it was so dumb. He just moved his legs back and forth. I could do
Don't
it.
be jealous, Dan.
Wasn't he
You don't
also
have
like,
moves like Pauly?
You're a
He was.
It was like Bruno Mars.
He was dance, rapping, and dissing at the same time because he was
like,
dissing while he
I'm
rapped.
just better than you. Like he honestly was like a middle schooler in a grown man's body doing a diss dance, like a Nickelodeon show. Like if you're gonna diss someone in Hannah Montana, that's how Pauly did it.
But also in that way, like, do you guys watch South Park?
Yeah, but I mean,
or like Kyle Broflovsky's or the one that has the integrity, who like thinks he's right all the time, like, and you're so good. Someone like feeling victory is theirs, where it's like,
he felt it.
You know, I don't know how you're feeling so victorious, but ride that high, boy. And then Josh is also his Joshiest, like crying. And I remember the hate I got was like, what, you can't stand a man being emotional? And it's like, no, dude, I can't stand Josh. I can stand an emotional man. I love an emotional man. Give me fan tears. He
Jenna,
cries at everything and yells and screams, and he's
Jenna,
such a
is
baby.
there any chance that after watching season 37, maybe Pam comes around on Josh? Maybe Josh comes in this season. He's a super cool guy. He's realized his ways. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to chill out and just try to win some money this time. Under, over, well, no, I'm not under, over. Out of 10, 10 being she starts to like Josh, and a 1 being she still despises him. Where is she at?
I think no, because I don't really think that Josh is going to have this massive change, this massive upheave of his personality.
No, it takes years. Like I hated
Yeah.
for years, and then I loved Carr for years before I started to flip, and like didn't like Ashley for years. It takes years. Like I'm maybe one day I'll get over a hill with Josh and I'll love him when there's new kids that I hate, and Josh is now old school to me. But at this point, he's still, listen, big brother, back off. Even hearing like him and Sassy and Casey, I'm like, oh, whatever, big brother.
Yeah.
Take it elsewhere. But if Devin was with them, then...
your girl Nani is now dating Casey, so that's a whole thing. Oh,
Wait.
you didn't know about this either?
No.
Nani and
I
Casey
didn't know that it was official. I saw that they were hanging out.
Look, from what I'm seeing, especially on social media, even this week, you just see them, they're kissing all over each other.
That is good. Ooh, that is good. Good tea, because, you know, we know that they had an attraction, but Casey had a girlfriend.
Are they both appearing on 37 together? Yes or no?
I don't know.
I guess we'll have to talk about it next week.
We gotta
on
watch
the
the
challenge
special.
aftermath. So yeah.
So.
Wait, and then Jenna, we need your honorable mentions.
My honorable mentions are CT and Bananas, because they were the best of the best for a time. So of course.
And let me say this: there is a fight during Rivals 2 where, because Wes is paired with CT, because apparently they were rivals at some point, and Wes and CT go after Bananas. You got to watch. This fight is so epic on Rivals 2, and they start shitting on Bananas, and it's CT. It's Wes versus Bananas, but CT jumps in, and because Wes is his partner, and just starts beating the crap out of Bananas. So there you go.
I'm here for that.
And I also feel like when you're like two of the best guys in the house, you can't really work together because you
didn't
both
CT
win.
carry Bananas on his back in
Yes,
the
that was
backpack
backpacks,
thing?
yeah.
So
Exactly.
that's
So
great.
CT Bananas. I have Amanda and Cara. I have Adam and CT because all I do is smash heads, bro. I'm gonna smash her head and eat it.
And that goes back all the way to Real World Paris that they
Real
appeared
World.
on. Yeah.
A random one, and I don't know how this isn't that long lasting of a rivalry, and I actually don't think one party in this. I don't think either of them were like true rivals, but you could make that statement. Abram versus one of those twins. I think it was the Thomas of the twins because Cara was hooking up with
rock, paper, scissors. They were playing rock, paper, scissors.
They were
remember?
under his pants.
In the back under a blanket.
So
grown adults are
Abe,
middle schoolers.
as I recall, Abe came into that season like late for some, like, why did he? Cara basically was kissing Thomas, whatever, under a blanket, whatever they were doing.
Bananas blew it up.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Bananas blow it up like on a bus. Bananas was like, your girlfriend, like told Abram that she was cheating on him on a bus.
Right.
Yep.
Did Abe come into that season later?
Yes.
Why though? Why would he come in late? I don't even remember why.
I don't remember. Maybe he was there as a mercenary or something for
something. But oh my God, was that some good drama? Holy shit.
I think he was a replacement and Cara was cheating on him because she wanted out of the relationship.
Yeah.
And he showed up thinking, I'm gonna go see my girlfriend. We're in love. We love each other. And she was literally like just cheating on him.
You know, there's one thing about doing these shows for Patreon is reminiscing on these old shows just goes like, I know we bitch and complain about the new ones. Well, I'm doing it for good reason because even reminiscing about this is like, oh my God, the show was so damn good back in the day. Oh, it's just
back in my day.
Back in my day.
And then my fun Camilla one was Camilla and production assistants.
That's
because she punched a production assistant in the face.
Well, that's why. Isn't that one of the many reasons she's not on the show anymore?
And then my other fun one is Ashley and toilet bowls without seats. After seeing how she responded when the toilet seat was taken from off of the toilet.
I mean, I had some more written down that were more mean, so I'm not going to say them, but I thought they.
Say 'em!
Come on, say them.
All right, I got two more. I got Anissa versus running.
That's a good one.
I wasn't even going to bring these up. And I also have CT versus a backpack because Bananas really wasn't there, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
It's time for our number ones, and I believe Jenna, you get to start it off.
Yeah, my number one is one that Dan, he clearly doesn't watch the challenge. He doesn't even think it's a rivalry. I have Wes and CT as my number one. You don't realize that these are rivals?
Maybe, okay, look, if I go back and rewatch a bunch of seasons, maybe I'll see more rival. I remember in the duel, they got in a huge fight when CT lost. And CT, but I will say this, that was one fight on one scene. And then I watched the reunion and they were like, he's like, dude, I'm so sorry I made fun of you. Dude, I'm so sorry I made fun of you. So I feel like it got wrapped up real quick, but you're right. They were paired for Rivals 2 together and they won. So they
go right back into it. Like it becomes a pretty long-lasting rivalry.
They were paired as rivals for a reason, Jenna. So of course,
there's a season. I don't remember the name of the season. Maybe it was a original Rivals because they were on 2. Maybe it was Rivals 1, or maybe it was an X's season. That CT was in Wes's face, and they do timestamps for like 8 hours all night, yelling, and it's the best clip ever. Yelling in Wes's face. You're going to try to take money out of my pocket? You're going to take bread off my family's table? And then he takes Wes's mattress and throws it in the pool. You need to find this clip.
What season is that? What season is that?
I want money out of my family's pocket? Bread off of my family's table? Wes, you're a little shit, Wes. And guess what?
Literally sound like CT.
Wes can't do anything when you're standing in front of a behemoth. Like you're Wes. And CT's yelling at you, Wes just ate it. He sat there. He knew he couldn't say boo. He sat there and didn't even move a fucking muscle. Like he's trying to play it off like he's slick and he's laughing. He doesn't care. He's like, whatever. He's crazy. It's like, no, you're probably terrified. Like Wes ate that shit.
The reason I'll give you this, you're totally right. I am missing some definite scenes between those two. But the reason CT's not on my list is because I feel like he had so many rivalries that were all of equal amounts. so I couldn't put him there. But that's just me. Of course, you're more than welcome to make that your number one because you did. But I just couldn't put him as my in there because there's other ones that were just they were like maybe just like they lasted longer or they had a bigger impact for my brain, I guess. But yeah.
Oh wait, I'm rewatching the clip. I think it was Wes actually. Wes threw CT's mattress in the pool and he woke up the beast. And CT was like, nah, forget this. I'm going in on this kid. So you guys, everybody go watch MTV Rivals Uncensored.
Okay, so it's the original Rivals.
Original Rivals.
You know what I might do? Because this is what I loved about the show back in the day is
the clip is called CT and Wes Face Off.
Because
you share it. Will you share it with?
Yeah, share it with us right now. But didn't back in the day, they didn't do Rivals 1, 2, and 3 in order, correct? They put other seasons in between, correct?
Yes.
And also like Battle of the X's and stuff. They didn't put those in order. They like would put other, which I loved because then it would bring it back. Now they're doing
they made time for more rivalries before they did Rivals 2.
Like, oh, we've got double agents. Now we got spies, lies, and allies. We got to do all these in order. I'm like, well, I didn't like the first one. So what the hell are you bringing it back for?
Stop with your stupid series.
Wait, there's a quote from this fight. Wes, what should I do? He says to somebody else, I remember this. And someone else on the show goes, dude, I would just lay down. And CG's like, yeah, lay the fuck down.
Oh, God. I'm going back to watch Rivals. I want to watch it so bad now.
So good. I know. I'm like almost dying to get off this so I can just watch this clip. It's so good. That's why they're my number one. Okay, go ahead.
All right. We're going to Pam for her number one.
Okay. So my number one is almost like a three-way, and it's a specific rivalry fight. And I like this. Let me tell you why I like this. I like this because it's some heavy hitters. I like it because it's a honorable shout out and a farewell to my girl Cara, if she is really leaving.
Yeah.
Mentioning Wes, who you love. And I love when there's an element of truth, like in a rivalry. So we have Wes is the one that actually poured the 2-liter bottle of soda on Cara. Not Bananas threw something at her and said, nobody likes you, which is just classic Wes and great. And Cara at this point was like, I just was like being silly with him in the kitchen. And then Laurel jumps in and defends Cara. And then it becomes a Laurel Wes fight. But then people turn on Laurel, and Cara and Laurel had a real fight in real life sort of on this season. So this was a big fight, beget fight, beget fight.
And Laurel and Cara, that kept going.
Yeah. Well, they were best friends. And then for real, and like Laurel moved to Montana to help her when she broke up with Abram. And then the following season was when Laurel was like, shut up, you're stupid, you're annoying, no one likes you. You know, it was just mean. And people were like, and Cara was still sweet Cara. She wasn't, you know.
Yeah, that fight, I always remember that fight, Pam. And unpopular opinion, Laurel, I think, can be nasty and the worst in some situations, but I actually always loved what she did in that fight because she was standing up for her friend and her partner in that moment. Because she then really laid into Paula and said some kind of fucked up things about her eating disorder. However, in that moment, I was kind of like, serves Paula right. And it's not okay to like pick at somebody's eating disorder and stuff. Sure. However, Paul was being a huge bitch to Cara. And it was like, well, you're being a bully. So now it's like
don't dish it out if you can't take it.
Exactly.
Right. Don't dish it out if you can't take it. Paula jumped in to make fun of Cara, who again at this point was being bullied. Like she wasn't.
Yeah. What was
she didn't have Paul? She didn't have, you know, she was Cara like my horses like me. Yeah, I agree. And I think Laurel goes hard. And there's been times like with Easy Eat where I'm like, she
oversteps.
Not good, too hard, too below the belt. But I support it when you are defending someone.
Yeah.
And Wes's reasoning for pouring this 2-liter bottle of Coke was
everyone was making. He said they had a little bicker thing, and that they would nitpick with each other for fun and games. And one morning, she walked into the kitchen and was like, what, you're here? Like not meaning, and he just was in a bad mood and was grumpy and decided to dump a 2-liter. And she was wearing a white dress. on her.
I truly felt like it was a matter of pick on someone your own size. Everyone was just picking on Cara at all times.
Yeah, everyone was. That's where it
She
became.
was less confident. Yeah, she was weaker.
Not only the guy, and we've talked about this before, not only the bullying, but she got thrown into every elimination that whole season. She was going, like, the amount of stuff that she would go through, and we wonder why she's so messed up now and how she's still acting like she did when she was 22. Like, this girl, reality TV is not the best for most people. I don't think it's a good place to grow up. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
She went through a lot to get where she earned her spot, put it that way. It's like, if she earned her place.
And maybe she's finding happiness outside of the challenge. She's like, why do I need to put myself through that shit anymore? Maybe that's it. I don't know, but more power to her, because I honestly
hope so.
I just, the first impression she made with us at AfterBuzz, or at least when I was with you guys at AfterBuzz, I don't know if you met with her first before me. I think you may have. I couldn't stand it. I thought it was super disrespectful. And like, if you're not gonna, yeah, I know, raise your hand. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, she said in her defense that it was Natalie's interview. She was like, I didn't want to
go away. Why is she then? Don't be a part of it.
I don't know. Maybe Natalie wanted to. I don't know. Leave Cara alone.
I thought it was cool and really fun that we got 3 of them.
Agreed, but we couldn't even do an interview because her and Paulie were like just throwing ice cream on each other on the side. And go watch it. Why?
No, it was kind of funny though, because we got a really funny douchey Paulie moment where I asked both of them, because that was when Paulie and Kyle were having their rivalry, and they were puffing their chest, acting like they were going to fight, but Paulie was up in the stands and Kyle was on the sand, or reverse, so they weren't going to fight each other. So I asked the girls, I was like, well, who do you think, if they actually did do a fist fight, who was going to win? Yeah. And Paulie turned to his friend, who's like, well, hey, Greg, I don't actually know the guy's name. Well, who was that Rutgers, the football linebacker that I got in a fight with, that I beat up? How big was he? Like, how big was he?
Kyle, right?
Yeah, and it was just like,
and that's great.
Huge. And his friend was like, I don't know, like 130 pounds, like really shut him up. And I was like, yes, go friend.
That's
really funny. I don't anyone that goes back and watches that interview, I bet my face looks I'd probably look pissed, because I don't hide my emotions very well.
Yeah.
I think I look very.
I think you probably did.
We'll see. We can
it's all, I mean, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're there. We can find it.
Wait, they're gone or they're there?
They're gone.
What do you mean they're gone?
I thought they were still on YouTube.
No, try to look AfterBuzz.
Okay, we'll have to dig into this.
I tried to dig into it a few months ago, because I was telling my coworker about it, and they were ripped from YouTube.
Well, I actually ran into a fellow AfterBuzz host at an event I was at the other week, and he tells me that they're like done for good. They're never coming back, and that Maria moved to Tennessee or something. Is that true? Do you know anything about this?
Kevin or just Maria?
I heard they both moved to Tennessee. I'm like, I don't even know if any of that's true. So I tried looking stuff up, but I couldn't find anything on it. So I have no idea what the fate of AfterBuzz is, or if they're ever even coming back.
Interesting. We're gonna have to do some research, and we'll come back to that.
I mean, I'm the only one that could like logistically even get there if I wanted to do shows there still anyways.
It is very interesting. We'll have to.
I doubt, Pam, you're going to drive 2 hours in from Palm Springs to do it.
Probably not. But right. Jenna, you listened to Maria's podcast. Has she mentioned where she's living?
That maybe, but not that. Well, I don't think she mentioned AfterBuzz. However, she did. I mean, she's still working, and probably where was that film? The reunion for All Stars too, or All Stars?
Probably LA, because
LA
remember
or New York,
Mark's birthday around the same time. People were there.
Yeah. Oh, some drama. I heard that Mark wasn't allowed to help with the with picking the cast for All Stars season 2. He's out.
Save all this good info for
Hey, what what? It's all for our Patreons. So,
hey, you've got this. All right. Yeah, you've got a lot of good.
Yeah, Jenna's clearly doing some research right now, so I'm doing a lot of I'm doing a lot of filler right now, as they say in the biz.
Well, let's do your number 1.
Oh yeah, we'll do my number 1. I can definitely do some filler there. Pam and Jenna, you can probably both guess my number 1 at the same time. Go for it.
Rice and bananas.
Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
Sorry, we didn't.
You know what? To throw it back at Jenna, I can't believe Wes and Bananas didn't make your top 5, or you, Pam.
I saved it for you. I figured
I liked Wes and Team more.
And there you go. And I like Wes and Bananas more, and that's why this is the best thing ever, picking our picks here. Guys, this rivalry is probably the longest rivalry ever to appear in the challenge. It's been the best thing ever. They literally did not appear in an elimination together until last season. However, I did some more research on that because I'm like, they must have. And if you ever watch Champ versus Stars, they do an elimination there, and it's not the challenge. So that's why they say it was the first time ever this past season or whatever.
Guys, the links are
back.
I'm
sorry, it was on Total Madness. It wasn't this past season. It was 35. They appeared Total Madness where Bananas beat out Wes. But on Champs versus Pros, if you remember Champs versus Pros, they had to be blindfolded and they had to whip each other with sticks. And it was the first person to break the other person's stick, and Wes beat Bananas in that. So that was another elimination.
Okay.
They were always going at each other. I mentioned the Rivals 2 fight. It's so friggin' funny. Bananas is like, Wes, what have you ever done? And Wes starts rattling off all these things he's done like that. And it was like the perfect comeback. And then Bananas does not respond. And it is, and I like it because Wes like wins the fight, but whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, they really are one of the
They are.
because they're both such like schmoozers and
they're showmen. They're both showmen.
Yes. And the way that they fight, they're always gonna like, they'll never give it up. They have to have the last word, both of them. And what happens when both people in the fight have to have the last word? It's just an endless fight.
And now it's like an even list. They teamed up in 35 together, right? Mm-hmm. But would you girls like have any issue believing they still hate each other if they came on a season together? I wouldn't. I'd be like, they're just back at it.
I don't know. I feel like they're kind of like lovey-dovey now. Like, you know, when you
hate
someone for so long that you kind of develop a relationship with them that's almost like family, right?
And to go to your point, they've also talked about off season how they're really not. They're doing it for the show. They've mentioned that. But my point is, though, is that they're back on the show. I still would love to see them still compete against each other and not like each other in that moment. I still think they can pull that off for, viewers that will still want to watch it. But any updates, Jenna, from where you are?
Yeah, there actually is a huge update. All of our links from the AfterBuzz page are back up. So I think that we should download them because I tried to send them to a coworker 2 months ago, and I went on my Twitter where I used to link stuff after shows, and everything was just disabled, no more content, taken down, and now they're back and thriving. So I don't know, maybe it was just a blip in the YouTube system for a while because
I don't know. I don't think they ever came down, and I just wonder if AfterBuzz will ever make their comeback because I'm hearing through the grapevine that they're going to be done. They sold BHL or they were selling BHL to somebody. I know that, but.
I would like to give a final honorable mention in terms of like antagonistic relationships that become affectionate and fun. Pauly and Kyle, honorable mention.
But see, and I didn't put them on because I
forgot about them until that. Sorry, yes, Bananas, that's epic. But those were two that it's like, oh come on, you guys are really both the funniest.
Yeah, and I could tell if it wasn't for Cara, they're just happy. That's the problem with the new kids that are coming on. They're either trying to do it for TV, which is what they're all doing, and they're just really friends in real life. They're like, we need it. Like, I think some of them, they got to talk, right? Season 37, these kids coming on right now, wouldn't it be smart if they purposely went to another new cast member they don't even know, or they know from the reality world and say, hey, let's just freaking pretend to really hate each other and get some effing screen time and get ourselves on another season because most of these kids are not making a second season. The majority don't. They get a couple good storyline people that do, like Nam. Nam is back, and I think we're all excited to see him because he had a great storyline last season.
What about...
Or what he could get of a good one because he was with Lolo.
But also just because he's going to be a really good competitor. I think he's a really sweet boy. And it's good to have a mix of a sweet person because you want to have the just wholesome competitor as much as you want the trashy one. It's nice to have a mix of like, oh,
but and that's why it's great.
Turbo ended up getting wild, but for a minute that was kind of what Turbo was, right? Like he spoke broken English, he loved Nani.
Now see, I don't know what he did. He did something to not get asked back on because he won the damn thing. So do you girls know what he did?
No, but he was also doing, like, I follow Turbo on, and he was like doing something major in Turkey or wherever.
Well, I know he's doing some acting out there. We saw one of his commercials, which I believe was really funny. We talked about it, but I don't know why he was never asked back or he didn't want to do it, but it's disappointing because I would have loved. I think we all wanted to see Turbo come and defend his title.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Except the other competitors didn't want to see Turbo come defend his title because he's really like Superman.
I want to see it. I want to see a season with Wes, Jordan, Turbo, CT. Let me see it.
Yeah.
And it would be good.
Sadly, I mean, CT is still doing his thing, but sadly, there's gonna come a time where their bodies aren't really gonna allow them to do this anymore. You know, like CT, but Bananas isn't. You know, he retired. But
I will say this about CT, and we talked about it before. I think he's the most well-rounded character on the challenge. There something in his brain works differently where he does not get stressed out. I mean, he had the one season where in the final, it was him and Diem in the final, and his body gave up on him going up the mountain.
yeah,
And I think Diem had to like carry him up the hill. I don't know how she did that, but I remember something like that. But besides that, I don't remember a time where CT ever showed that much vulnerability or that much, not vulnerability, that's not the right word. Just incapable.
yeah, weakness, physical weaknesses.
Physical weakness, thank you. Physical vulnerability, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some good young competitors, but I don't think it'll ever be like it was with peak West, peak Bananas, peak CT, having those personality dynamics as well as how strong and competitive they are.
Cara, Paula, Camilla.
Yeah, exactly. Laurel,
and
all
so
of them. I love that range. Like I love old school. Sure, there's the Monica Robbins, the Jodys, the Katies, the Veronicas. Love that as well. But I really love that middle section too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a really great
time. Even when Kyle and Pauly were on during those seasons.
Yes.
Together.
And early.
I remember us us mentioning like, oh, there's a little too much drama now, blah blah blah. But it wasn't that. It was pretty good still.
Oh no, I like that. I'm here for the drama. I like it.
Yeah.
I think we did a great job.
Yeah.
And I think we are awesome, and I think everyone should definitely check us out on the Patreon and tell your friends about it. And we'll be back next week. We're going to talk about the Challenge Aftermath, which appeared on YouTube. You can watch it yourself. We're going to watch it. We're going to take our notes, and we're going to be talking about that next week, which is 1 week away, ladies, before the new season starts on August 11th.
Yeah, you're making some stiff promises here, okay? I got to take notes.
Yeah.
Mental? Can you take mental notes for me? Because I will be writing mine down like I do.
Fuck, I'm just never gonna watch like DPR. Just kidding.
Hey, who's DPR? You didn't say his name, so I don't know who that is.
David Punk Rock Christopher. No, inside
that was the joke. You weren't supposed to say his name, but now our Patrons know about that.
No, it's a tease joke. I'm just teasing.
It's a tease joke. We can also say he showed up 30 minutes late to watch it too.
That would be a tease too.
Yes.
Teasing, kidding, in jest.
Yes, in jest, yes.
I do want to say in sincerity, thank you to our patrons for supporting us during this off season. Everyone, please spread the word so we can get people going and listening and all that stuff. We are on all the stuff now, like wherever you listen to podcasts, like Spotify and Apple and all the stuff. Yeah. So you'll be able to find us on all those things for the next season. And thank you guys. And
like
again,
we're going to be full episodes, full after shows are all going to be
real show. Yeah, full episodes back next season. So thanks for hanging in and spread the word.
Yes.
Good talk, ladies. We'll see y'all next week for the Challenge Aftermath right here at the Challenge After Show. Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye.